What is going on? We have a very special treat for you guys tonight. I am all the way in Wales, in the very northwestern corner of the country, at an old hospital that dates back to 1879. Now, this place would have been added on over time, but it is very creepy in here. I don't know if you've ever seen what their language looks like, but I don't know what that says. Props to them. I always tell people it looks like someone fell asleep on the keyboard and just hit enter, but it's a really cool culture, really cool language, so you guys do you, because I can't read it. Some of the activity that's out of this place is absolutely off the charts, so I'm super excited to see what we get. I traveled a long way to be here, and let's jump into it.
I'm Frank. I'm from Haunting Nights, and we are here in Bron Y Garth in North Wales. Bron Y Garth was originally a workhouse. It was created in 1839, and as a workhouse, as the Festiniog Union Workhouse, it was called. And then later on, around about 1948, it became Bron Y Garth Hospital, and it closed down in 2009 as a hospital itself. So predominantly a workhouse and a hospital. Much history. Many people come through the doors, and some of them didn't go out. So very atmospheric and historic site in North Wales. But this is the tour, I suppose. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. So
let's do it. Yeah. It's the tour.
So we have a number of wards still that have a lot of the equipment in already. We have wards that's got beds in and some equipment as well. Again, it was only closed in 2009, so as a hospital, but of course it's been abandoned ever since. So this is one of the wards, one of the main corridors. We have a ward over here, which has still got a lot of the original features. Still got beds in there as well, which of course originally from when it was closed in 2009.
Wow.
So it was originally a cottage hospital, so it was only designed really to hold around about 150 people at one time. But of course, wherever you have a hospital, you get people who unfortunately have passed, and that we do find some of the residual energy still here on site. All of the equipment you see, the chairs, the beds, they're all original from back then. So this is the one of the main wards that are in Bron Y Garth. Yeah. And
this part would have been used up until 2009.
That's absolutely right. Yeah. We get lots of activity, some activity in here. But yeah, this was a working hospital. Way up to then, yeah, absolutely, yeah. Because this is one of the most original parts of the building from when it was originally a workhouse. The workhouse in the back of the building over there, on this site was original from 1839, and then of course was added on to as years went by, and then the NHS of course took over in 1948, and then of course it became a hospital ever since then, and then closed down in 2009. So yeah, over the period of years it was built upon. So many thousands of people came through as patients, hospital, doctors, nurses, and things like that. So yeah, very busy site.
Okay, and then for this room, just for documentation purposes, do any of these outlets work, or are these all dead?
No. In this room, none of them work. Yeah, in this room there's no power.
Okay, there's no power in this room.
Yeah,
so
that's fine.
If we get RIM pod activity or K2 activity, we can kind of at least already work off the foot that it's not power. So it's a good thing.
Absolutely. So moving on, we've got this corridor here. This is, of course, all of the, again, the original part of the building. So this is quite an atmospheric corridor. All these rooms here have got equipment in them still. So so that's one of the rooms. Again, some wards and off-site offshoots. A lot of the signs are still original as well. Of course in Welsh. So there you go. And we have some day rooms here where the patients would sit and wait. They would sit and rest. And of course some of the equipment is still here as well today. All of these chairs are all original.
So did it go bankrupt?
No, the NHS closed this down because they moved to a different part of Wales, a different part of the area. The NHS decided to move to a more modern, well-equipped hospital, a bigger place, a more modern place, a brand new site. So this was basically just no longer needed and closed down and became abandoned.
Gotcha.
Okay, so this is quite an active room. We've had numerous teams come in, and ourselves we've had activity from certain parts of the room in this corner over here. It's well known that there's been a spirit of a lady, an elderly lady that's been stood in that corner. She also walks up and down the corridor as well, along with a small child, we believe to be about 12 years old, young boy. Guests and investigators have experienced things stood in the doorway. They've experienced cold sort of feelings, being moved or pushed in the back. Those with more psychic ability that joined us on events have told us about the numerous times about this lady and this young boy, but at different times. So it tells us that there is obviously some truth in what they're picking up on. Various devices, various equipment that give us names, all come with the same name, and that was Anne or Annie. And so, I heard something there. And so we know that name is happening all the time. It's coming through all the time. Various different people come through with that name, and so whenever we're in vigil, we do ask out, and we do get some activity and response back. So an active room at different types. With Ouija boards, seances in this room again, and also with devices that give out names such as Spirit Talker and Alice. We do get names that come through, and it more often not comes through with the name of Anne. So we do know that well, I refer to this room as Annie's room. Because I know she's here. So, and she wanders the corridor as well. Why she's here is something we don't know. We've not found out yet. But again, we've only been investigating this site for about 4 years. So eventually we will get the answers. Yeah, but it's quite an active room at times. This one, yeah, definitely.
Okay. So that's it. This is like, out of the 3 locations we've done in the UK, this one reminds me the most of home, because it looks like a lot of the abandoned hospitals we've been in. But it also looks a lot different. Obviously the signage is
yeah, well, yeah, it's all in Welsh first and then in English. Of course, because we are in North Wales.
So, and we're really far north too, right? Like,
it's north. It's about as north as. I mean, we're more towards the northwest of Wales. There is a North Wales coast. I live in the North Wales coast, but and that's about an hour north.
So we're about an hour from like the very top of
of Wales. Yeah, in fact, it's less if you go towards the further northwest. But if you actually go as the crow flies north, it's about an hour. And you'll hit the sea then. So this area here, this corridor here, is quite active. We've been sleeping at night times when we've had guests here. When we've been sleeping in that, or tried to sleep in this area here at the end of the corridor, we've heard this door bang like that, and footsteps come through, but there's nobody there. So if you stay here, say 2-3 in the morning, like we do with guests with haunting nights. We do hear things coming through there, and this corridor is quite an active location as well. So let me show you that. Okay. So again, we have the kitchen over there, through that door, and then we've got this corridor here, which takes us down to the end of life room.
And I've heard that one from some of my friends, is that one's supposed to be really active.
Yeah, the sights of shadows have been, when you study the end of life room, the sights of shadows walking past the glass sometimes are seen. and also noises of footsteps in this corridor as well. So again, you are into the end of life room. So it's a fairly small room, but what is noticeable about this room is that how clean and tidy it is. There's no paint coming off the walls. It's almost like it's 2009 again. But this is what was considered to be the end of life room. We believe it to be that. And again, in this room, we do get activities such as REM pod activity, cat ball. Again, words coming through, names coming through from Alice, and also from Spirit Talker as well. Feelings of sickness, feeling of nauseous feelings in here. If you stay here long enough, are often been mentioned. Again, and footsteps from outside the door.
Yeah, it's crazy how much better shape this room is compared to the rest of the...
It's very strange. All of it is original equipment, but yet none of the paint is peeling off the walls. Even the sort of the wallpaper's good, and that's original. So it does seem strange that this particular room is like a capsule in terms of it not being affected by the deterioration of the rest of the site.
For sure.
So this is a good area to investigate as well.
Moving down. This place is huge. Like, we're missing how many rooms because there's just like so many that...
If you could spend days here and investigate each room individually. But here we go into quite an atmospheric room. In this hallway here, when we have this door open in the pitch black, we do events. With Haunted Nights, we've heard DVP, direct voice phenomena of women singing on this corridor here, on this stairway, and it's really audible. Guests have heard it, the sound of a female singing, which is quite eerie when it's pitch black. So here we are.
This room is scary.
It's a decoration. Again, this was a ward which was attached to, of course, the end of life area, but this is a ward which has been decorated by previous people. It gives the impression of quite an atmospheric, quite dark, oppressive room. In the dark, when the lights are all out, it's absolutely frightening. You can't see your hand in front of your face. Again, in this room, the activity we've had is nauseous feelings in a corner. A shadow of a very tall man is seen in this corner over here. We have had lights, flashing lights, and it's been seen by guests. Again, conversations through Ouija board and Alice and Spirit Talker gives us information, and we get themes sometimes in this room. Where the last time we came a few weeks ago, we had a lot of conversations through SS about what words coming through about the Navy and soldiers and army and things like that. But it's quite an oppressive room. It's quite a dark room.
Yeah, it makes you wonder what this would have been used for.
Well, it was used for entertainment purposes.
No, not. I mean, when like the hospital.
Oh, right, yes. It's difficult to know. I can't tell you exactly what the ward was for in terms of what the. But I suppose if it was attached to the same corridor as the end of life, I don't know whether that's
maybe like ICU.
Possibly, I don't know. I can't see. Yeah, it's not easy to say. Is there not a?
So for anyone that didn't pick up,
I think this was meant to be physiotherapy.
Okay. Yeah, it is pretty big. Could be a therapy room.
Yeah, it says would patients have to have a pacemaker or pregnant please inform staff before entering the physiotherapy department. So
Okay.
I'm kind of guessing that this was physiotherapy of some description.
So if you guys haven't picked up on what he's saying, this was all decorated for, I think it was an escape room, right?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
So all of this was added for theatrics. No one lost their mind in here and started painting on the walls. This was done on purpose. But that you did say that she was doing some weird stuff in here.
There was some rumours about that happening. We don't know exactly who and what was going on in here, but there was some discussion about what was happening in regards to certain types of rituals or what the things that were going on in this room. We can't speculate too much because we don't.
Yeah, we just don't know
for the full story. But to sort of do all of this to a wall and all to all of the walls, it doesn't tell us that nice things were happening here.
Yeah,
that's for sure. And of course, ultimately it's been left here, it has affected whatever happened has affected the atmosphere in the room, because when we do investigations, this is one of the most oppressive rooms. I mean, some ghost hunters won't spend any time here on their own because they have the thing about somebody's watching them. I mean, we've got lights on at the moment, but in the pitch black, it is dark. You can't see your hand in front of your face. So, particularly with what we know has happened in this room, potentially, it all adds to the atmosphere. It's not a really nice place to spend any time, but. We do vigils in here. We do get some activity. We do get responses, some intelligent responses through as well from here. So yeah,
all right,
a good room for the ghost hunter. The bins are at. That's always we never understood that.
The upside
cross. Yeah, I mean, I'm guessing it would have been a fire extinguisher on there, but I don't know why it would be an upside down cross.
Yeah, that's a weird design.
Yeah, I can't tell you that. So this course, Bragar has three stories in this building, but we'll go to the second story just through. So like I say, it is an enormous building. With all of these rooms are all sort of investigatable, if that's a word. But we don't tend to investigate the smaller rooms because of the amount of rooms that there are. It does take forever. So we tend to stick with the. That's the third floor. So this is the nurses' quarters, where the nurses would have food, they would rest, they would recuperate, and they would spend some time here whilst they're resting. We know that they would get food. That device in the stairway there would go straight out to the kitchen, so the food would be put on that sort of dumb waiter and taken upstairs.
Okay.
Yeah,
so we're right above the kitchen here.
That's right. Yeah. So, and this was an eating area. Of course, a lot of the equipment stood here, microwave and the cupboards, and in here is the original furniture. Of course, not fashionable now, but the television and everything is as was, and it's been left behind by the NHS, of course, the nurses. Now this area, as far as activity is concerned, again, is quite big on communication. The spirits like to communicate with us using a Ouija board, quite a popular tool for communication up here, along with, again, Alice and Spirit Talker. Lots of REM pod activity, lots of cat ball activity in this area. They seem to want to be able to contact us. We get the spirits of male physicians, doctors who are here, and also some nurses who don't like us being in here. It's almost like, what you're doing in our sort of rest area. Why are you in here? So we seem to get a lot of kickback with the words that we get back through those devices and the EVP as well, telling us not to be in here. Get out.
Wait. Did you just hear another voice?
I heard a woman's voice.
You were talking and I heard somebody else.
There's only one way in, and that's through that way. And they wouldn't be down that way because there's children wouldn't go down there on their own. So
unless they went to the.
It's got to be somebody, hasn't it? I don't know.
There's nobody out.
You're not talking to anybody by any chance?
Yes.
Right.
Okay, so.
Open the door.
Okay.
She went through the.
Here we go. So, here we are in the morgue. Of course, always an emotive place. Originally, there would have been a wall here, so you wouldn't actually walk through that. There would be the door, and then you'd kind of walk through into that area there to view your dead loved one or whatever. So you wouldn't actually see this. So this is where everything was prepped. In this area here, you've got the sink, of course, a place where the fridge was, the body fridge.
The body cooler, yeah.
Yeah, so you can see on the floor there where it stood, and that's where it was stacked, sort of kind of high here. So it took up all of this room, and again that was taken out soon after the hospital closed down, and it was given to a local undertaker, as it happens. So they've got that's still operational, but that's what that was there. We do still have one or two tags here with sort of effects still from here as well, and so and we have here the area where the body would be laying out on a table, and of course these wouldn't have been here, but the table would be here, and you'd be able to see through these curtains here. And of course these original curtains through the window to the person who was laying here. So again, quite an emotional place, an emotive place.
Yeah.
A lot of atmosphere and a lot of emotions in this room. So in this room, numerous things. We just had it before with things with K2 activity. With cat balls, again, Alice, loads of words coming through of names of people. The good thing about this place is if you go onto the website, to the sort of workhouse websites, you can check the census records. You can see names on there as well of people that actually stayed here, lived here, whereas in the workhouse, and unfortunately would have died here as well. So again, it's you can corroborate it with some actual facts as well. In here, we get all of that activity as you'd expect. It's quite a steeped in emotion place, and all of those things, all the regular stuff happens. Cat balls mainly, and K2, and those are on command. So so it's an atmospheric place. Yeah.
For sure.
What I like about this place at Bron Y Garth is there's so much different activity that can take place. I like the activity that we get in the morgue. I like the fact that you can always seem to get intelligent response from the morgue. The rooms that we saw earlier, the small room, we call it Annie's room, that's a very popular room for me. I quite like that room. I get quite a lot of activity from in there as well. At one particular time, I remember being stood in the doorway, and one of the guests, she said, she was quite psychic, and she said, "There's the boy stood behind you," and I felt myself go cold because I'm not psychic myself, but I know I can feel when things happen. And she said, "The boy's behind you," and at that point, I felt something push me back. And I moved forward like that because it was like I felt like a pushing me back. So that's something that's actually happened. I can attest to that. It's not something I was imagining, and I know that happened. Also in the nurses' quarters upstairs, I've had a voice come back to me saying no on EVP. That's come through. Are you happy that we're here? I said at that time, and I got back no. That was on EVP as well. So if you whistle as well, sometimes in that area, and particularly on the third floor, you may get a whistle back, and that's happened a couple of times as well. So numerous different things, and it's one of those places that because it's so big and it's so sprawling, that different things happen every time. But you just don't know what's going to happen next, and that's what keeps me coming back to the place. And it's one of my favourite places.
Okay, so we are starting tonight's investigation in this corridor over here where Anne's room is, and also the room with the equipment. I will say, this place reminds me a lot of home, but is a lot different at the same time. Obviously, I've been in a lot of abandoned hospitals in the US, but the words here, obviously in Welsh, are just vastly different than what we have on our signs at home, but they have English translation, so it's no big deal. But I kind of just want to walk into the rooms and this area and just be quiet for a minute, because sometimes you'll have stuff happen just from not making much noise. After you.
Oh, there's water on the ground. Be careful.
All right. If there's anybody that can hear my voice, my name's Kalani. I've traveled a very long way.
I'm Savannah.
We've both traveled a very long way to see you. So if you'd like to speak with us, can you give us a sound or a knock from the room that you're in? So quiet.
I can never stand the smell in these places.
No, it's something that you never...
It really
You
bothers
smelled
me.
one, you've smelled them all, really.
Yeah, they all smell the same. It's horrible.
Mold. Yeah, look at that. You can see that.
Damp. Oh my gosh. I'm gonna be stuffy after this.
So this is the room. They said they get a lot of EMF activity. There are no working outlets, so that's a good thing. So I'm gonna put the spike out here. You remember this is an EMF spike? So we've got that out there. And then we're also going to put out this brand new motion device I have. It's a motion detector from Ghost Gear. It's called the Fantune Radar Plus. And we're going to set this up.
Make sure if you put it on the floor, there's water.
No, I'm not going to put it on the floor.
Okay.
Put it right here. We'll let that calibrate. Stay back real quick.
So how does that one work?
It's got a little sensor in it. It serves as a radar. And if anything crosses in front, it plays
Oh,
the
crosses
tone.
in front that way.
Oh, the spike just went off. Hello? And I don't have the sensitivity up super high, so. I think this one might have to be
So it should have gone off if you were.
infrared. I don't think it moves. This one's a lot harder to see. I like the tune.
So you have to touch it?
I'm moving it so it's registering as a hit. But
So we can't set it off by walking by it?
no.
Oh.
Something else. It might be picking up infrared. I don't know. I'm going to do a little bit more digging. And this is a new device for me, so I don't know the ins and outs of it. And I kind of left the manual at home. So I know I have to let it calibrate. And if something starts to play it, that's a good sign, because I can't even set it off without touching it. So. All right, for any of the spirits in here or anyone that's still in this room, my name's Kalani again, and I'm with my wife Savannah. And we just want to talk with you tonight. We don't want to cause you any more pain or grief or even run you out of here. But I have a couple pieces of equipment out that you can use to communicate with us. If you just touch these items or get close to these items, hopefully they'll register so we know that you can hear what we're saying.
You can also knock on the wall if you want to.
You can move anything, you can touch me, you can say whatever you want. I have a little silver device here that you can speak into. So we can try that if you'd like. Just
Try to speak loudly and clearly.
Come to this silver device and just give it all you got for us so we can hopefully hear you. Were you a patient at the hospital?
Did you work here? I'm interested to see if we'll get anything in Welsh.
How would we know?
Well, it'll sound like...
Blah,
Yeah, that's what it'll sound like.
blah. No disrespect to our Welsh
No.
folks.
It's just like a language I've never seen before.
I've never seen anything like it, and trying to pronounce it makes my brain hurt.
Were you a patient at the hospital? Did you work here?
Hang on.
Were you a patient at the hospital? Did you work here?
Okay.
Okay, we got a scream, first run. The other thing is I don't like to assume that every scream is a bad scream, right? I feel like sometimes we're quick to assume that when something screams into a device that it's angry or upset, but I feel like it's also a fair point to mention that they could be frustrated that they can't speak as well or efficient as they'd like.
Also, too, I think sometimes that noise, maybe, like, what if they're trying to reach out and, like, grab the device?
Yeah, I mean,
or, like,
maybe.
I don't know, because it sounds, like, staticky, you know?
Well, and the other thing is this was a working farmhouse, essentially. It was a work camp. In the capacity of people would come here, kind of like Fairfield County Infirmary, right? It was a place for your drifters and your homeless, and
Some people also sent their kids here.
sent their kids
Because
here.
they didn't want them.
Or if you had certain incapacities, they'd send you here because, you know, this is where everyone was this was the catch-all of the village here. So, you know, maybe they can't speak in the way that we want them to, but screaming is the only way they can be heard. So we heard someone scream, and again, if you're upset with us, you don't have to be. We're not trying to upset you. We're not trying to invade your space, but I'm going to leave this device here and step away, and if there's something you want to say, just walk up to that silver device right there and try and speak as loudly and as clearly as you can. I've given you some space to hopefully let you be a little bit more comfortable.
heard that. What you heard?
It sounded like a woman's voice.
Kind of like a little moan, maybe?
Yeah. I didn't want to say anything to interrupt that, but it sounded like it came maybe from the hallway. There's something trying to talk.
Yeah.
It's nothing I can make out clearly, but Anne or Annie, I don't know if that's how you'd like for me to address you, but we thought we heard a woman's voice in the hallway. If you'd like us to come down to your room, can you give us a sign? Okay, let's go down to her room and see if we can get any interactions.
That sound reminds me of the little horses that you put change into at the grocery store
Yeah, kinda.
to ride or something.
Remember that one at Billy Creek?
Oh yeah, the one that you got on. And it lasted for an awkward amount of time. Because it was really long. Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
Some kind of oxygen. It's got a mask down there. I don't know.
It's crazy how they leave this medical equipment. There's no telling what this stuff costs. And they just leave it.
Well, I mean, now it costs nothing.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's not worth anything now, but I'm just saying.
Yeah. Yeah. It's kind of weird how it's they just up and leave the places, it seems.
Like the ones in the U.S. that go bankrupt and they just leave them. Okay, so this is Anne's room. So I think maybe we should move over here. She likes to hang out in this area, they said. Okay, Anne, if you can hear my voice, I have a little blue box sitting right here in front of me. And if you touch this device, the goal is for you to be able to register a response yes or no by using a calculated amount of energy that will algorithmically get pushed to yes or no. So yes is left, right is no, or green and red if you can see color. So if you'd like to answer some questions for us tonight, can you please go up to that blue device and mark yes? Okay, if you're not interested in speaking with me tonight, can you go up to that device and mark no? Okay. Doesn't want to speak.
Well,
And look, I'm not trying to cause you any discomfort or pain. I'm not trying to run you out of here. I just want to talk to you. Yes? Would you be willing to just answer a few questions for me? I just want to learn more about you and learn more about this place. I came all the way here from America to try and speak with anyone here, including you. So, would you be willing to answer a few questions? Just mark the left side or the green side or the yes side, whatever you can see.
We don't mean you any harm. Oh,
Perfect.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, so I'm going to set this device here. It's right next to the one you've been using.
It won't hurt you.
It won't hurt you. Just try and speak into it, just like you're talking into a cell phone or a telephone in your day, or
Just talking to the person next to you.
talking to the person next to you.
Just speak loudly and clearly.
So can you confirm for us that your name is Ann or Annie? Were you a patient here at Bron Y Garth? Can you tell us why you like to hang out in the corner? I didn't yawn. Whisper.
It's so loud when you move in that jacket.
I don't mean for it to be.
It's like shh, shh, shh. Every time you turn your head. I saw you yawn.
I'm one of the mall walkers.
That's what I'm gonna do when we get old. I want to be a mall walker with you. You want to be one?
Hang on.
That noise is, I'm overstimulated hearing that noise. It's too much.
Okay, I'm done. I didn't hear anything.
You want to be a mall walker together?
Sure. I mean, she did tell us when we walked in here, the first thing was,
Yeah, no.
I don't want to talk. I figured I'd give it a shot, though.
You know what I can't stand looking at in these buildings?
The ceilings?
How did you know?
I just know you.
It kind of grosses me out. Like, to look at the texture, it makes me sick to my stomach. Do you get that too?
Not really.
Oh. It gives me like that. I literally get like a tingly, like bad sensation when I look at the ceiling.
Well, Annie, if you don't want to speak to us, we're not going to make you speak to us. That's okay. We just wanted to give you the opportunity to say something if you wanted to. But feel free to follow us in the building if you change your mind, and thank you for trying. Okay, so this corridor seems really quiet, but that can always change. I almost just crapped my pants because I saw the shadow from the light moving and I thought there was something out here walking about. So quiet. Okay, I think what I want to do next is go up to the escape room / the end of life area. And then maybe we'll do an Estes and end of life and see what we can get in the escape room.
What was that?
Yeah.
You ended that like a question. Escape room?
So maybe we can, we'll go up to the end of life area, do an Estes, and then see what we can get in the escape room. Okay, so this is the end of life room, which I would say this room has probably seen the most death, at least in the modern time of the hospital. from the 40s up until 2009. If you're not familiar with end of life or end of the line rooms, it's essentially where people
This
that
would
are
be like comfort care.
yeah
right?
people that are on their deathbed, and this is usually where they kind of pass. So this room, in terms of energy, just in general speaking, not even just this one in specific, but generally speaking, you know, there's a lot of people that watch their loved ones move on to the other side, and these, so very emotional, very heavy energy with that. And you've also got people that literally die on these beds in here. So what we wanted to do was an Estes session in here and see if there's anyone we can connect with, maybe that still lingers around or following us from another part of the hospital. But
We got our friends with us in here.
yes. So this place is so big that they were actually in another completely different part of the hospital, and you couldn't hear them. So they've joined us for this session to see what we get in here. So let's get Savannah under and do it. Okay, so we got Savannah under. The spirit box is sweeping. Okay, so for anyone in the room,
It sounds like there's Welsh coming through. Like
Okay.
words that I can't really understand.
okay. So if you're speaking Welsh to us, I apologize, but we can't speak Welsh. If you know English, that would be very beneficial. But if not, that's okay. Just know that we're here to empathize with you. And
Vivian?
Vivian, okay, is your name Vivian?
Vivian.
Hello, Vivian.
Was here?
Were you a patient here? Vivian, were you a patient?
Cremation?
Were you cremated?
More words that I can't make out.
Again, for
Not English.
anyone here, we can't speak Welsh, so if you want to try and talk with us, it's going to have to be in English, unfortunately.
Vivian, did you pass here?
Do you remember the day that you passed in this room?
I really can't make anything out. Nine?
You know what's really weird? I didn't ask the question, but in my head, I was going to ask how many spirits are here. But I didn't even get
I
it.
was restless.
You were restless. Can you tell us what happened? Were you old? Did you get sick? That flash now.
I wanted the windows open.
Did you want to breeze in here? Was it stuffy?
Wanted.
How long were you in this room?
A couple of weeks.
Oh. Were you alone in here?
Yeah.
Did your family come see you?
I was at his side.
Wait a minute. So Vivian, were you visiting?
Andy?
Oh my gosh. So, Vivian, you didn't die here. You came to see somebody here?
You were visiting? Vivian?
I just got a minute. That was it.
Just got a minute to say goodbye?
Yes.
That's
I'm
sad.
so sorry,
So sorry.
Vivian.
Can you tell us,
More words that aren't English.
was Andy sick?
Yes.
I'm sorry. I've got like a chill on this entire side of my body. Well, we definitely, I can't tell you exactly what you went through, but I know how that feels, especially recently.
Sandwich?
Are you looking for a sandwich?
Did you bring him sandwiches?
The last thing
Is the last thing you had?
that I ate,
Oh, you ate
you're
them.
right.
yeah, steak,
Steak
sandwich.
Steak sandwich. Nice.
Not bad, Vivian.
So did you pass?
Chips.
I want chips too.
Did you pass not long after Andy?
It was a 10.
It was. That's kind of weird. The food review.
It was
Did you pass not long after
Sounds
Andy?
like a male and female speaking, but not English, but talking to each other.
Vivian, I have a question.
Is that Vivian and Andy? Sorry.
No, you're good. Are you currently alive wherever you're at in your time? And you're hearing us in the room thinking that we may be a ghost or a voice in your head? Maybe you think this is a dream of some sort? If you're still here, my name is Kalani, and it's the year 2023 for me. Can you tell me what year it is for you? 2024, sorry. I mean, it's a habit.
We're amazed,
What are you amazed by?
right? Everything. We see now.
You see now. So can you see us in the room?
Witches.
We're not witches.
You do that yourself.
No, I don't do witchcraft. After I leave the toilet, you might think it's witchcraft, but I promise you're not
This
crazy.
is a meeting.
No, we're not.
That's not a mean.
We're not having a meeting. We're trying to speak with you. We're trying to figure out more about you. So you told us that you were visiting Andy, and you also told us the last thing you ate was a steak sandwich. But can you tell us about where you're at right now? What does it
Sounds
look
like lots of Welsh coming through. I
What-
got a deep man's voice.
What does it look like where you're at right now, Vivian? Can you describe it for us?
Where are you?
Are you currently in Wales? Can you knock on
Joe? That's what it is.
Joe?
Who's Joe?
Can you knock on something where you're at right now? I know it sounds silly, but it might let us know that you can hear us and can respond.
This went red when you said, could you knock on something? It was a long red.
Okay. Vivian, why do you stay here? Is it because you visited here for weeks? You visited Andy here for weeks? Is that why you keep coming back now?
Some English, but a lot of, like, what I'm gonna assume is Welsh, because I don't know what those words sound like. They're like gibberish sounding, sort of. To me, because I don't know what the words are, but definitely a man and woman talking to each other.
Okay.
There's like a deeper man's voice.
So we got the name Vivian, and kind of what we gathered was Vivian was visiting what I'm presuming is her husband, or someone of importance that was a male. And this is where he passed away. She also let us know that she had a steak sandwich before she died.
Oh, the chips.
And it was a 10.
It was a 10.
Which I thought was really weird because I've been doing like the food reviewing.
When it came through and it said it was a 10, I was like, this is like reminding me of your TikTok kind of.
But it's weird. So if we think about the time theory, right? What if these people are in front of us and they know that I'm coming to ghost hunt and they gave us a food review.
They could. They're just giving you a food review. Yeah, it was weird that sandwich came through, and yeah, I don't know.
Chips.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So let's try this really quick.
Anything else, or was that all that?
We had a few that were like spot
Oh,
on.
instant responses. To,
Really?
Because I was like, how long were you here? A few weeks.
Yeah.
And then,
I asked the question, you said yes.
Yeah.
Well,
I will say that I feel like doing Estes somewhere where they speak another language, it's a lot easier to listen because when English comes through, like you hear
it's
it better.
clear.
It's clear.
Because you're like, there's all this other stuff, and then an English word comes through, and you're like, oh, I definitely heard that. Yeah.
Well, and especially when we go somewhere where we know they're not going to be broadcasting anything in English. If you're using a spirit box and you have English come through, that... Which I think they obviously have stations that broadcast here in English.
English, yeah.
I'm just saying in the future. Okay, I'm calling out to someone named Vivian. Vivian, can you come forward to this little silver device if you can see it? If not, it's in the middle of the room. And try and speak as loudly and as clearly as possible. Can you tell us more about Andy, please?
What was that?
Wind?
Wind.
Okay.
Can you make a loud audible noise either in this room or in the hallway?
What was that? That
Sounded
was
like a
wind.
chime.
I heard that.
That wasn't wind.
No. It didn't sound like it was outside.
No, I thought I heard it through there.
It sounded like it's some sort of chime.
It looked like that was picking up quite a bit. I heard he was.
something
I
right
heard
there.
he was my kid.
Can you tell us more about Andy, please?
There's something there.
Tell us more about Andy, please.
I can kind of hear what you're saying. I don't know if it's...
Can you tell us more about Andy, please?
Like, if that is what's coming through, it sounds like it says, he was, space, my kid.
But then there's something after that that I don't really know what it's.
There's something they're trying to speak.
Yeah, I can't tell what it's saying.
That's another
That
one.
was earlier, yeah.
Okay, let's just be as still as possible. Okay, for any spirit in here, you can come forward and speak now. I know I called out to Vivian, but anyone can come forward and speak. We're going to be as quiet as possible. So just say whatever you'd like. Three, two, one.
If you guys heard anything, that was my stomach.
I heard like 2 pops.
That was my stomach.
saying
They're just
something,
talking, but I
but
can't make that out though.
it almost kind of, it could be a different language too. Like it's nothing I could make out.
That is true. We don't really exactly know what we're listening for.
Right.
I
All right,
can't.
let's
I can't
move.
even look at it.
Into this other room over here
Okay.
and see if we get any other EVP responses. Let's grab that real quick.
Which room is the next one?
The escape room.
The escape. Gotta pull. Yeah, that one. I find it weird that these doors don't open both ways because I feel like a lot of times in hospitals they open both ways. You know what I mean?
So they can run to
Yeah.
the ward, patient.
Yeah.
This one does look scary. I'll give it that.
I wonder if that's why people feel a certain way in here is because they have a
Yeah, I
pre.
think something to point out is you probably got a psychological component, which could explain the nauseousness that sometimes people feel. Not saying that something couldn't make you feel sick, but a lot of people don't realize how much your mind has a play on
Without you even knowing
how you
it.
react.
Yeah.
So when you walk into a room like this and it looks so busy and very horror movie-esque, your brain's already starting to get triggered.
To have like those thoughts and things.
Yeah. It does play a psychological component for sure. But that also doesn't mean that the psychological component couldn't feed into something else. I'm gonna actually play the SB7 out loud and see if we get anything.
Just went off.
Yeah, that is going on.
Oh.
I don't have any phone or anything on me.
I don't either. Ooh, yellow. Whoever's here, can you use this device in Kalani's hand to communicate with us? The man in the weird hat.
You can use this to try and speak with us.
It won't hurt you. Hey, yellow again. Oh.
I'm just gonna create a little bit of distance just to make sure it's not a frequency error.
No, look. Again.
Who's in the room with us right now? What was that?
That said Vivian. It said Vivian.
Vivian, if this is you, can you touch that little black can?
Just touched it.
Did you go off?
Yeah.
Well, that is wrong
It
too.
went green.
Yeah.
Did you follow us in here, Vivian?
It just hit red.
Red?
Yes.
Vivian, can you come speak to me through this little device in my hand?
Yellow.
Was Andy your child?
That said yes.
Did it?
That
Yes.
went green.
It said yes.
I'm sorry to hear about that. Can you tell me what year this happened? What was that?
What was that?
Yeah, I heard it. I couldn't make it out. I mean, that was
Whatever
me.
whatever it was, repeated it twice.
Can you make a loud noise or move something in this room to let us know that you can hear what I'm saying? Can you tell me what color you just made that? Okay, let's do something really quick. Turn that light off. And let's just let it go completely dark. I know that the camera is an infrared, but I just want to. Sometimes I feel like when you turn the lights off, there may be.
The way that all that just lined up.
Yeah, that was pretty cool. Okay, we've got the lights off or anything that would like to come forward.
I almost just peed my pants because I thought I saw a misty figure and it's my hair. Out of the corner of my eye.
Are we still speaking with Vivian?
You still here, Vivian?
If that was your son that you had to say goodbye to, I'm sorry that you had to go through that. I know that situation's really hard.
Vivian, could you do something a little funny? Could you knock on something in this room? You can use the energy from that device you're touching right now. I'm going to hold this little silver device in my hand. And can you come forward and say the word banana? I know it's funny, but it'll let me know that you can hear me and respond. So, can you say the word banana?
Turn the light back on.
No, I can do it with it.
Is that not a very faint banana?
Yeah, I heard
Yeah,
at the
it
beginning.
That's what I was wondering.
But fast.
I think it repeats it twice. Listen.
At the beginning.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just very
Because
faint.
you can hear the 3-syllable breakup. That's why it's a good word to use.
That was really crazy how all that just like
Mm-hmm.
connected. And
Maybe Vivian came in last week.
But it just makes you wonder, is it the trauma that keeps her here? Right, because if she didn't die here, a lot of people think, if you don't die there, you won't be stuck there. But I feel like trauma could hold you to a place.
Well, if it was your child, I mean.
Are you here, Andy? Is it you that's here?
Maybe she comes back to see him, or stays here to see him.
speaking from experience, I feel a significant attachment to where both my parents died. You know what I mean? Because there is so much trauma that was there. So that would make sense, I feel like. That's like such a life-altering experience. You know what I mean?
Well, and it's very weird, because like when you see someone pass,
When you see them, yeah. When
it's your brain just,
comprehending that in front of you is just really hard.
because like, not to get too personal, but like when your dad passed, right, we were there and we saw it progressively happen, and then he eventually was, dead. And it's like your brain still, even as it's happening in front of you,
Can't comprehend that really.
it doesn't understand what the end
Yeah.
of your mortal life is.
Keeps flashing now.
Yeah.
And I think that's something that, I don't know, if you're a spirit, right, and let's say she came here for weeks to visit her son, and then she watches her son pass before her eyes, that's a lot of traumatic energy and just
It's a lot of trauma.
bad
yeah.
juju.
Yeah.
Because then you're dealing with the psychological state after leaving the hospital, and you flash back to that same moment in the hospital.
It's the last time you saw them, and like, yeah.
And unfortunately, you don't remember the good things.
It's hard too, because like the grief and the trauma.
You just remember being in the
Yeah.
hospital.
Hmm.
But that's what makes it really interesting with this whole little escape game, is it's like, I can kind of see where the town got upset.
Yeah, for sure. Feels kind of disrespectful almost.
Especially if there are, with it being 2009, think about how many people had family members that passed away here, and then in a matter of less than 20 years, you've got somebody in here selling tickets to an escape room.
Yeah.
And not only that, then you add all this to it, and you're just putting out that energy like we were talking about when you walk in.
Especially these indoors.
The upside down
Yeah.
glasses.
Yeah. No.
So I can see where they got upset. And stuff like this, believe it or not, folks, can invite in other things that were not organically here.
They weren't intended to be here, yeah.
Because energy is very weird. It's very unpredictable, but when you open the possibility by doing stuff like this, I feel like you're kind of asking for it. Not like there's anything evil or bad, but it's just,
I feel like I'm ready to be done in this room.
yeah, we can be done. Okay, for our last session of the night, we're going inside of the morgue. The mortuary.
this?
Yeah. It smells like rubber.
I don't like it in here.
So this would have been the area where the body would have been shown to the family. I'm going to put our motion sensor in there. But, I don't know. This area is weird.
I don't like it.
I need to learn this thing.
It would help to know how it works.
I left the manual in the US. Cut me some slack. If that thing goes off, I'm not going to be able to tell you how.
No, I really don't like it in here at all.
All right. If there's anybody in here with us, my name's Kalani and I'm here with my wife Savannah. We don't mean you any harm or disrespect, but we just want to speak with you. Is there anybody in the room that would like to say hello? Can you make a loud audible noise? Were you a patient here? That is the wind, and it is freaking.
And that,
So that-
wind is scary.
What you just heard was the fan getting kicked up by the wind. So. patient here at time or something. Sometimes the wheel gets stuck. It's a very expensive wheel,
Kalani had to perform surgery with a butter knife.
but we did it. Nothing really. Hello? It's crazy to think that this used to be where people would look at in there, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But it's like, it's just weird because it's usually always attached to the building back home. But this is like a hike. A little bit.
Yeah, it is weird.
It's detached from the building, which I think is a sign of it being a different place, you know?
Mm-hmm. That's weird.
Let me do one in here and see if that makes a difference. Is there anyone over here that'd like to say hello?
I would just like to clarify for people that he was itching his eye and not picking his nose, because under
I'm getting sleepy.
under the cowboy hat, it looks like you're picking your nose, but I just saw you
Hang on, look ready.
itch. Oh yeah, there we go. Caught it in 4K.
I'm getting.
Yeah, I'm tired too.
Is there anyone else here that'd like to say hello?
There's something trying to
I thought
speak.
that was your jacket moving.
Could have been.
Man, it's itching his head. I'm tired too. And I don't like it in here.
It smells a little musty.
Yeah.
It smells a little musty. I'm getting tired.
That heated seat's going, man.
Alright, let me do one more EVP. Spirits, if you don't want to talk to me, that's okay. I'm tired, you're probably tired. It's cold, it's windy, it's rainy. Do you have anything you want to tell us though before I leave?
That was me yawning. You know what I want to know? How are yawns contagious?
Huh?
How are yawns contagious?
I don't know.
I don't even.
Goodbye.
Say goodbye.
Well, thank you.
That's twice that we've gotten that while being out of the country.
Thank you for saying goodbye. I don't want to bother you anymore, if that's the case.
We're sleepy. We
We're
appreciate
sleepy.
you talking to us though.
And thank you for even giving us that. But I'm sorry that we couldn't speak more, but I hope that you're at peace wherever you are. And I hope that more people come to speak with you and you have more visitors. And thank you for your time, effort, and energy. With that being said, guys, that wraps up our video here at the hospital in Wales. We have more international stuff coming soon. So if you've enjoyed this series, please go ahead and like, comment, and share. Hit that sub button, turn on those bell notifications.
And
We have a travel vlog.
yes.
It will be linked in the description if you want to check that out. Nothing to do with ghost hunting, but we've gone to some pretty cool places recently and have made some videos about it, so go check it out.